How to beat the One Wish Willow from Obsession. I mean, Obsession's still high right now, and I definitely want to watch this because I saw it earlier. So let's get into it.
All right, imagine that you're so deep in the friend zone that you need a miracle to get out. Most
Hold
people
on,
would
wait, hold on. This isn't like extra strict, right? No, okay, we good. We good.
just take the L, hit the gym, and bounce back a year later like, what's happening for real, shouty? But for every looks maxer out there in the world,
Yeah, the entirety of Obsession could have just been fucking skipped if Bear wasn't like a bitch ass loser. I'm gonna be honest.
there's gonna be a million other guys just like Baron Bailey, or Bear for short. I mean, dude couldn't pull a chair out from under a table, like he's allergic to winning, and what's crazy is he is punching way above his weight class, going after the baddie of the friend group. But just like most of you out there who couldn't help themselves if Nikki looked like Indy Navarrete, Bear makes a wish that his crush would fall
Loki, like, times is tough though. I'm surprised he wasted money on that bullshit.
absolutely head over heels with him, and it actually works. This would sound like your lucky day, right? Well, what if your new love interest starts acting bizarre and ends up making your life a living hell?
I spilled water over myself, but I'm gonna ignore it.
True can actually
Like a lot of it.
into your worst nightmares. So I'm here to break down the mistakes made, what we should do, and how to beat the One Wish Willow in Obsession. It all starts with this dude, Bear, the most down bad guy in the history of this entire YouTube channel, and he is so
That can't be
obsessed
true. There's like fucking demons that commit sex crimes and shit. Hold on.
with his childhood friend slash coworker Nikki that it's kinda sad. But he's always been too nervous to actually say something, so today he's at the diner practicing his big I love you speech on the waitress. And when he's finally done yapping, his buddy
This waitress, bro, who the fuck was this waitress, by the way? She never appeared again. Like, genuinely, this fucking waitress, bro, how did she get this shit?
Ian tells him it was cringy as hell. You see,
Also, bro, everybody in this fucking movie kind of sucks, I'm gonna be honest.
Ian's got some other ideas when it comes to risen up Bear's crush, like calling her Freaky Nikki, which is the name they used to bully her with back in high school. But Bear, he's not really catching on here, and just when it feels like he couldn't get any less confident, he gets home to find his cat Sandy dead on the floor, making one down with 3 more to go. You see,
Yeah, you count that as a death? You count the cat as a death? Okay,
Bear
that
has been
shit.
living in his grandmother's home ever since she passed away, and he carelessly left open the medicine cabinet in the hallway restroom. Poor Sandy must have accidentally hopped up there and gotten into the medicine, and it sends Bear further down his depressive spiral. Later that night, he's lurking on Nikki's IG when she actually calls him up and asks if he's coming to trivia night with their group of friends. Now, at first, he turns her down, but then she drops the news that she's putting in her 2 weeks at the music store that they both work for. So he makes the decision that tonight's gonna be the night that he's gonna finally tell Nikki how he
'Cause tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
feels. Now, while they're on the phone, Nikki drops her crystal necklace down the drain. So, being the good friend that Bear is, he heads to this little novelty hippie crystal gift shop on the way to the bar to surprise her with a new necklace. The salesperson is not really being the most convincing that a crystal necklace is the way to go here, and that's when something else catches his eye. He discovers this dinky little toy called a One Wish Willow, and according to the box, apparently it grants whoever breaks it in half a single wish. And
Hold up. Wait, 24. Bro, this shit did not take 24 hours. This shit took like 2 seconds. Loses magic properties.
before he can shout out the shop for coming in clutch, the employee here jokingly says, a lot of people complain that it's bullshit, of course, and is a total gimmick. But Bear just says, put the willows in the bag, bro, and dips out. Alright, this dude's officially thirstier than SpongeBob on dry land. It's like when you hear a guy trying to pick up a girl on Xbox
What is this
Live in
deep fried ass? Oh,
the
okay.
voice chat.
Hello, what you go killing?
What was the question?
But I think we've all been there before, right? I mean, we're only human after all, so even though he's a total wuss...
Yo, have y'all niggas tried to pick up fucking women online? Is that something motherfuckers be trying? It's like, okay, you got on what next, bro? Y'all don't see each other in real life. Like, bro, I feel like it's kind of
I'm
ass.
genuinely rooting for this guy to get out of the friend zone. The only problem is this dude got nerfed in the charisma update. Long ago, ever since the first cave baddies walked the earth, people have been trying to figure out how to get their attention. And it's not just humans either. All kinds of animals have their different romance strategies. Like those little penguins from Antarctica that impress their ladies by finding the perfect rock. Even if a penguin can find their soulmate, then at least there's still hope for old Bear Bear. But that brings us our first question. How's a Rizless dude like Bear supposed to get that mojo flowing? Well, the first thing he's got to do is stop listening to a single thing that his buddy Ian says. Because
Oh yeah, this motherfucker was a bitch, bro. You could have just shut this entire fucking movie down by telling fucking Bear that you were fucking Nikki. Like, bro, this entire movie didn't have to happen. I'm just saying.
whole calling her Freaky Nikki idea might actually be the worst plan I've ever heard. That might have counted as flirting back in high school, but it's definitely not gonna fly if he doesn't have the confidence
Fucking
to
middle
back it
school,
up.
bro.
And now that they're getting older, that stuff's gonna just come off as immature and lame. The person he should be getting advice from is that waitress back at the diner, because as sappy as his whole speech was, she was absolutely eating it up. And you see, that's the difference, because instead of trying to impress Nikki by being somebody he's not, the only way he's really gonna find out if she likes him is to just be himself. So boom. I'm not saying he should head over to Nikki's holding a boombox outside her window like John
Yeah, has there ever been a person in real life who's actually done this before? Like, it was a movie trope, by the way?
Cusack and say anything. He did just mourn the loss of his cat, because if he gets too emotional, it's just gonna look weird. But the fact that she just put in her 2 weeks at work could actually be a blessing in disguise. Like, for one, at least now things won't be awkward at work if she rejects him too hard. But also, it kind of gives him the perfect opportunity to ask her out on a date. So instead of pulling her aside for some big emotional speech that might honestly come off as creepy, he should use the fact that she's leaving soon to bring it up naturally, be honest about the fact that he likes her and just ask her out. And I mean, literally the worst thing she can say is no. It's 50-50, but he's never gonna find out if he doesn't shoot his shot. The gang all
I mean, she could have said, "No, I've been fucking your best friend." I feel like that's a little bit worse than no, I'm gonna be honest.
meet up for
You know, the
trivia night,
add-on.
and we're introduced to Sarah and Nikki, the core 4 group of friends who all work together at Castle's music store, which is run by Sarah's father in San Fernando. This lovely group of friends goes way back, has a ton of history with one another, and always crushes it on trivia night. But the opportunity comes and goes without Bear getting his chance to talk to Nikki one-on-one. And at the end of the night, just as the group is ready to continue bar hopping, Nikki says that she's tired and keeps asking Ian to take her home. Ian wants to keep the party going at the karaoke spot, so seeing an opportunity, Bear offers to take her home instead. On the drive, the two of them start making some small talk, but honestly, they're not really hitting it off, and when Bear mentions he got her a little something, she reacts like he just shot somebody, so needless to say, it ain't looking too good. They get back to Nikki's house one awkward conversation later, and as she gets out, she mentions how when she has a crush on somebody, no one knows, which gives our boy a glimmer of hope. So he
I'm more realizing now that, like, we're not going. I guess it makes sense for like this type of video, but we're not going in with the context that we've already all watched this fucking movie. This is for people who haven't watched this movie. I'm now
brings up this
realizing.
memory about a time in band class that apparently meant a lot to him, only for her to cut him off mid-sentence saying it was no big deal. The signals at this point could not be more obvious, and as she's walking away, he throws one last Hail Mary and says, "See you later, Freaky Nikki." Only it does not come off as confident as he planned. Now offended.
Freaky Nikki. Like, bro, he has the like fucking up tilt at the end of his voice. Like, he does not, bro. He sounds like a bitch. Like, bro, he's just, I don't
She
know.
comes back to his car and decides
Like, I don't know how you say things less confidently than he said this shit in this movie. He's a good actor, that's for sure. That's all I'm gonna say.
to just ask him if he likes her. And now that the moment of truth is finally here, Bear chickens out and says that he only likes her as a friend. And she walks away seeming pretty confused by the whole thing. Now we'll never know what might have happened if Bear just said what is on his mind, but that's when our story really kicks off. Cause frustrated with himself, Bear breaks out his gift and says the magic words, "I wish Nikki loved me more than anyone in the fucking world," as he snaps the One-Wish Willow in half. He then looks over to see Nikki standing on the porch, and as he's sitting there in shock, she comes walking back to the car and starts acting incredibly weird. First, she asks about his
Again,
gift.
this shit did not take fucking 24 hours. This shit was instant. Like,
But Bear lies and says that he left it at home. So then she invites him inside, saying she could really use the company because her cat just died, only to turn around and go, "Wait, that was you," and still invites him inside anyway. It is absolutely bizarre, and even Bear thinks that she might have gone too hard at trivia night, when for a second she snaps out of it and starts acting like her normal self, but then goes right back to being all flirty with him again 2 seconds later. She
I
dances
look, you gotta rewatch this movie. Because, like, now kind of knowing or more processing what was really happening in this movie, I was like, okay, I look, you gotta. It's like when you watch, like, a time travel movie or some shit, and it only makes sense, like, the 5th time. It's not a time travel movie, but it's like, that's the kind of idea I'm thinking about.
around a little bit, grabs her things, and gets back in the car. Now thinking she must have had way too much to drink, Bear keeps trying to turn her down, but all of a sudden she slumps down on the dashboard, acting all depressed. And she
Dies.
hits him with the news that her father is dying. So not knowing what else to do, he finally caves, and they set off back to Bear's crib. Okay, gang, I
that a
know
parappa
all of
the
you are
rapper
always
sound
in the
effect?
comments asking how I continue to fill my physical media cave with all this heat. Well,
Has
truth be
anybody?
told,
No. Fuck you. Hold on. No, I had to. I'm sorry. Fuck off.
what are you waiting for?
Do not go to Whatnot.
Sheesh. I'll see you guys on Whatnot, and now back to the show. All right? Yikes, my guy. I mean, I was rooting for you, but now I feel like this is borderline a crime. And sure, under any
Borderline.
circumstances, this might seem like the luckiest night of his life, but this is so bizarre. Even he's got to realize that something is wrong here. To be fair, a normal person would not expect some dumb kid's toy to actually grant their wish, right? But there's already been a couple signs that it's more legit than it seems. First off, the place where he got the One-Wish Willow might seem like just your average gift shop, but there was literally a warning sign right on the front door. The novelty store is called the Green Man, but that's more than just a reference to the Devil's Lettuce. You see, I looked it up. The Green Man is actually an old character from European folklore that represents the chaos of nature and giving into your primal instincts. So, right off the bat, we're already dealing with some sketchy energy here.
Interesting symbolism. Who the fuck, bro? Damn. Look at that, bro. Look at that nigga beard, bro. Damn.
Before we even walked in the store, which brings us to this One-Wish Willow thing. Like, how could just a little stick in a box be a red flag? Well, just like with the name the Green Man of the store, it all comes down to what the willow tree represents. In ancient Europe, willow trees were seen as magical places where spirits could cross over into our world, so people would actually use their branches for spells and magic
I love how anytime something looks cool, it's just like, yeah, that thing right there, that's magic.
rituals, exactly like what just happened here. Now, let's say he got suspicious before he actually tried it out. If he really wanted to be careful about this, he could have just looked it up online first to see what other people were saying, check out the reviews, maybe. And if there were one too many stories about it ruining someone's life, I'd probably be safer to just leave it in the box and return it.
Yeah, but it's bullshit though. Like that's dumb, and you wouldn't do that in real life. Like you wouldn't be like, oh, ha. You just think that's fucking dumb. You would not. You would never be like, oh God, I gotta be careful plan out my wish when you get one of these things.
Either that, or I'd buy a second one and give it to somebody else, let them try it out first, and
How the
see what
fuck you wouldn't? It's like, bro, I like How to Beat. He makes up some bullshit ass scenarios. Like he just like, bro, the fucking walk. Like How to Beat the Walk or whatever, the long walk. I don't fucking remember what it was called. And while they're trudging it out in the wind, I'll be cool and breezy as they fucking break the slipstream or whatever. Like,
happens. And if their wish actually came true, I'd know that I have to be super careful about how I use this thing, because the magic would be real. At the end of the day,
I wish for $1 billion. Most valid play in the entire movie, by the way.
Though using a wish to make Nikki fall in love with him was never going to be smart, no matter how carefully he worded it. Because not only is that completely unfair to her, but since he cheated to get her attention, it's never going to feel real anyway. And with the way that she keeps snapping out of it, I think it's safe to say the real Nikki isn't actually steering the ship, if you know what I mean. So if Bear wasn't so desperate that he wanted to completely...
If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. if you know what I mean, like
ignore reality, this would be the chance to realize that he screwed up and start looking for a way to fix all this. But until he mans up and admits what he did, it looks like in the meantime, Nikki's gonna be stuck. When they get back to Bear's place, the dude literally has a bottle of lotion sitting right next to the front door.
damn. Yo, actually though, what is this fucking room? And that's the PC, I'm assuming, right? Like, bro, this thing was just jerking off.
Like, okay. But Nikki seems like she loves the joint. Like, she comments that it smells just like him, which, okay. And when he insists that he'll sleep on the couch...
By the way, that's like either the creepiest sentence or like, bro, it really depends on how you deliver that shit. Cause like, bro, I don't know, that shit was, it was like, it's
she
just,
gets him
it's
to
odd
come
most of
back
the time.
and get in his bed. Before he can even clock the vibe, Nikki's taking her shirt off, and that song Televisions by Current Joys starts playing as she cuddles up and puts her head on his shoulder. But
Cause we all know what that song is, right? Y'all know what that song is, right?
that's when she turns around and leans in for a kiss. And since it's what he wished for, he decides to just go with it. Out of nowhere, suddenly snaps out of it and jumps back like, wait, what the f?
There was no sex in that scene, by the way. I don't know. Why was that censoring for a second?
Only to go right back to being all in love with him again, trying to act like nothing happened. Then she just breaks down and starts sobbing until he finally lets it go. Later on, after she falls asleep, Broski gets up and decides to Google if One Wish Willows
Probe. Genie GPT.
actually work. Naturally, there's mad Reddit threads where people are asking the same question. The mixed information isn't doing him any favors, with half the people swearing that it
Is there an
does work.
actual r/vintage toys? Hold on.
While the other half say that it's just a dumb toy. So he decides to get back in bed, hoping he's just overthinking all this, but Bear has no idea how bad he just messed up both their lives. The next morning, Bear wakes up to see that Nikki is already up and at him, but walking in the kitchen, all he finds is his dead cat, Sandy, lying there on the kitchen floor. Horrified, he picks up this little "I'm sorry" card as Nikki explains that it's supposed to be some kind of memorial, and the crazy part is,
This isn't cool,
can't seem to
Nikki.
get why-
Nikki. This isn't cool, Nikki. Nikki. Like, ridiculous fucking reactions to half of the shit that gets done in this movie, bro.
he doesn't like it, but he lets it go for now so they aren't late for work. Ian sees the two of them walk in and immediately pulls him over for a little bro down, thinking that Bear finally locked in. But as he starts explaining what happened last night, Ian is completely throwed. Bear says Nikki was acting like a different person, and it's all because she's emotionally wrecked due to the fact that her father is about to pass away. Ian immediately clocks that Nikki's father is barely in her life at all, and he's pretty sure they hate each other. So Bear guesses that maybe she was on one, like that one time they all took them you-know-whats and went to the club. And the whole time they're talking, she keeps staring at him with this big unnerving smile.
My face real squish a lot.
Hours later, as the gang closes the shop for the day, Bear flat out says that he's not going to be able to give Nikki a ride home tonight, but she just goes, "I know," and grabs her bag and hops straight in Ian's car, leaving him even more confused. 2 hours later, Ian calls Bear and says, apparently it was all one big misunderstanding and that she was definitely on a bean. But when somebody knocks on the door, Bear discovers Nikki in a fancy red dress standing before him. She starts out by confessing that she actually was on something, but that's not the only reason she's here. She wholeheartedly admits that after last night, she realizes that she too has feelings for him. And now that she kinda like said it out loud first, Bear finally admits that he too has feelings for her.
Pussy.
Well, look who
Are these Parappa? I haven't played Parappa the Rappa in fucking forever. Are these Parappa the Rappa sound effects? Because that's what they remind me of.
finally got the courage to say what's on his mind. Now, I hate to rain on Buddy's parade here, but the whole
Is he a Parappa the Rappa anywhere back here?
excuse
Damn.
that she was just on something ain't adding up, twin. At trivia night, she was on fire. And even though they didn't bring home the dub, Nikki didn't even seem drunk, let alone so messed up like she had no control over her actions. But if you've ever been around somebody that's zooted, like she said, it would have been a lot more obvious. Trust. And let's not brush past the fact that she turned his dead pet into an art project. Bear wants this to be true so bad, he's completely ignoring the magic. Like, if he was actually thinking with his brain instead of his smartphone, I guess he'd have to admit that Nikki's not just acting weird, she's basically an entirely different person at this point. Whatever's going on with her, there's already been signs that it could get dangerous quickly. I'm just gonna go back to Sandy the cat for a second. When Nikki realized he didn't like what she did, that little makeshift memorial on the kitchen floor, Nikki genuinely couldn't understand why. Any sane person would be able to see what's so weird about
Yo,
that.
I swear to God, this meme isn't that zoomed in normally. Why are his fucking memes so zoomed in? Like, what is this? Like, I get some of the footage being zoomed in. Why is the meme zoomed in?
And what does this tell us? If we're being smarter than Bear and actually admitting that the One Wish Willow was magical, then it seems logical that
I wish for $1 billion. Most valid thing in the entire movie. Again, I'm just saying.
it translated his wish into pathological obsession, because that's like the most extreme form of love imaginable.
Say that again?
The spell is completely throwing off her sense of right and wrong, like a confused AI model that only wants to make Bear happy all the time. Now, he could just go with it and keep pretending that it's all legit, but if he actually wants to do the right thing, he should be looking for a way to reverse the spell or wish before it gets any worse, you know? And I already have a few ideas for what he could do. First, we would be going straight back to the gift shop and try to get as much intel from
Why
the
does he
cashier.
talk like that? Why does he straight? Bro, I swear to God, if when fucking Ian gets his ass popped, this motherfucker says slump. Yeah. And Ian gets slumped across the like,
Cheer as I could. She mentioned how everyone who uses them always comes back complaining. So there's a chance that she might know a ritual to undo the spell, or at least be able to tell me more about how it actually works and where the hell the One Wish Willow even comes from, right? That Reddit thread would also be a good place to start, since there's already posts from a bunch of people saying their wish came true. I'd open up those DMs and reach out to anyone who posted there and try to learn from their story, like what they actually wished for versus what ended up actually happening. Did the wish ever wear off, or did they find some way to reverse it? Another thing that I noticed was on the back of the box, it says to wait 24 hours for your wish to come true.
yo, you know what I'm doing though? Because realistically, I'm not wishing. Like, even if I did get this, I might make a stupid ass wish. I'm not gonna lie to you. However, I'm not wishing for somebody to fall in love with me. If I come to this shit and my wish fucking actually gets granted, like, I'm pulling the fuck back up. Even if the One Wish Willow doesn't fucking work, nigga, there's other magic shit. You just got a store full of magic stuff? Like, bro, I want all of it. Nigga, I deserve it all.
True, which could mean that the spell gets stronger over time. So instead of letting Nikki come over, he should be trying to stay as far away from her like as possible, since then it might take longer or the spell might start to wear off. But I think we all know that Bear's about to not do that. As sure as the sun will rise, these two become inseparable. Just two goofy goobers, madly in love, making everyone else around them sick. They're sneaking off to make out at work, reading
Oh, shit.
together at night, making
Whatever.
fucking French toast in the morning. Like, what the f? And as cringy as it is, it appears that they're genuinely happy. But as the days go by, Bear can't shake the feeling that none of this is real. Payday arrives, so they head out for a romantic dinner, and Bear admits that he'd like to become a food critic one day, and Nikki laughs and says that she would fully support his career path. Reaching into her bag,
I don't think he would be a good food critic because I don't think his taste in food is good. Oh shit, hold
her
Nah, but like, look at what he
tiger's
ordered.
eye gem necklace that has been in her
Is he
family
gonna show it?
forever and even used to
Okay.
belong to her mom. This hits Bear hard because his original decision to get Nikki a gift, but never does, mirrors her genuine, meaningful gift. Confused as to why she would bestow such a precious heirloom to him, Ian starts blowing up Bear's phone, so he excuses himself to see what the deal is. Like a good friend should, Ian looked into this situation with Nikki's dying father, and according to several people, the dude is perfectly healthy, clocking into work every day and all that shit. But it's not just that. Ian has been talking to Sarah at work, who said that Nikki has been telling everyone that she's not really in love with Bear, he's just like her little brother or something. So now, everyone around them is like, yo, what the f***? Shook. Bear walks back to the table, and she can tell right away that something's on his mind. So he just rips off the band-aid and straight up asks if her dad is really sick, but that was his biggest mistake. Nikki starts flipping out, creating a massive scene in their section and swearing she thought the
Is that little Dicky? Enhance. Is that little Dicky? The fuck?
two of them were on a nice date. So Bear, doing the only thing he knows how, remains calm, sits back, and tells Nikki that everything is going to be alright. Smash cut to Bear and Nikki doing that thing that couples do, and hours later, Bear wakes up to use the restroom and notices that Nikki is—
Yo, by the way, I'm just saying. That nigga Bear was caked up. He had some ass, bro. I'm just saying.
gone. It's 3:45 a.m. and not only is the vibe in the room completely off as his night vision adjusts, he notices the silhouette of Nikki standing perfectly still in the corner of his room, like a creature
Yo,
of the
Bitrate Loki murdering this clip right now. Hold up.
night. She walks towards him saying he's adorable while he sleeps and that his shirt smells just like him. Bear's heart rate spikes as cold sweat goes down his back, frozen in fear. And without warning, Nikki rewinds back to her spot and begins to sob uncontrollably. "I don't like my dreams," she says, "and it seems like you don't love me as much as I do and that it doesn't feel mutual between us." Bear tells Nikki she's scaring him, but she just tells him to go back to sleep again in this creepy, psychotic voice and then randomly darts for the living room screaming, "Why don't you love me?" Only to come back in holding roses in front of her face. And I mean, there's no telling what she's about to do.
Yo, this shit reminded me of fucking Lemon Grab, by the way. I was in the theaters, because I saw this shit in theaters. I was in the theaters like, I just whispered to myself, because I couldn't actually scream it. So it's just, unacceptable! Unacceptable!
Now, but after standing there in total silence, she just puts it down and says it's for his cat, and then hops back into bed and falls asleep. In the
Motherfucker, it was in my house.
morning, Bear notices that Nikki cut his hair while he was sleeping. When he asks her low-key what the f*** happened last night, she just pulls him in for a kiss until that lizard brain kicks in. It's Nikki's day off, so Bear makes her promise to just stay home and act normal until he gets back. But it's too late, as she's covered the entire front door in duct tape, suggesting that—
Yo, I said this shit in theaters too, because I went with my family, right? Why would you duct tape the fucking main, like, hold on. Bear, get the fuck out of the way, yo, bitch ass. Why would you duct tape the main part of the fucking door? Any day now. Fucking turn the boat's ass. This doesn't, like, stop the door from opening. Only the shit around the edges is what's actually stopping the door from opening. And only around this edge specifically. Like, the top, bottom, and this side. Like, oh, this was really inefficiently done, I'm gonna be honest.
duct tape, suggesting that he just stay home for the day since he can't get out the front door. Taking a deep breath, he plays it off like nothing's wrong, awkwardly yanking on the handle until it finally—
Like, look how little of that would have actually been touching the fucking door. Like, bro.
One last goodbye, and Nikki just stands there staring at the door, and the second he's gone, Nikki unleashes her bowels onto the floor, which we can't show you on YouTube, so here's a shot of me holding my dog.
No! I wanted to see the piss! Don't. Okay, there's nobody here, doesn't matter.
And say what up, Kilo?
What's good, Kilo?
But yeah,
Is your dog
Really getting
Parappa the
fan.
Rapper?
It's gotta be like a week and a half since he made the wish, and Nikki's already gone way past clingy to acting like a demonic cartoon. It's gotta be one of two things, right? Full mental breakdown or the One Wish Willow. Can Bear afford to get her a psychiatrist? No, bruh. It's gotta
Poor
be
ass
the One
motherfucker.
Wish Willow gang. It seems like if he ever goes home again, she's never gonna let him leave. But as long as Nikki thinks that he's at work, this actually gives him some time to try some shit out. Her behavior last night would suggest in some way Nikki's former self was trying to break through. Like when Nikki says that she doesn't like her dreams, it could be that the real Nikki is trapped inside and her dreams are where she experiences the truth. Wish Nikki is falling apart because she's aware that something is missing. Like she has all this love to give to Bear, but she doesn't feel whole. It's creepy as because it might be the first hint that freaky Nikki is not happy either. The flowers she used to block her face right before she got in bed and went to sleep seemed to me like she was hiding the wrong version of herself. Either the real Nikki is trying to hide or break through. So why not just use the One Wish Willow to make another wish? Well, okay, the problem with that package...
What is with these deep fried ass clips? Like, look at this fucking finger. What is up with this?
clearly says you only get one wish. I feel like at this point, all he's got to do is use someone else's
It's to
wish
avoid
to cancel
copyright.
his out. I mean, that's like Wish 101, though. Bear needs to get on his fucking bike and go back to the Green Man and buy up that whole box of One Wish Willows, even the ones up underneath the register that they haven't even put out yet because it's time. He's also going to need an Academy Award-winning script because the wish has to be absolutely perfect to make sure that nothing goes wrong. I'd write down something like, I wish for Nikki Freeman to go back to exactly how she was before Bear made his wish. Like, let's just start with that one. Try walking up to some random stranger who's never even heard of a One Wish.
Some fucking old guy just in a fucking like Sam's Club or Costco's or some shit. Like he's trying to buy like a fucking gallon of like I don't know. Like some fucking old guy trying to buy like a gallon of hot sauce. He's just like, I'll pay you. Break this. I'll pay you $50.
Wish Willow. Maybe cut them a deal. Look for someone down.
Sonny, what is that? It's a One Wish Willow, Grandpa. Oh, is that one of the Grandpa? You just break the thing and say what I tell you. Boy, don't talk back to me, Grandpa. No, that was dumb. That was a dumb skit. That was a
on their
bad skit.
luck, take the Willow out of the package first so that they don't get any ideas, then offer them 500 ducats, but only if they break the stick and repeat the exact words that I wrote down on a piece
This
of
nigga
paper.
say 500, motherfucker. I'm staying with 50 max, dog. 500 in these fucking trying times? No.
He could also just go with someone he trusts, like Ian or Sarah.
She
If
said,
Ian's
take ya.
not down, Sarah might honestly be a better option because she already likes Bear, full stop. Thinks he's
I look-y think Sarah more attractive. Like, not like more. I feel like more people would say Nikki attractive, but I like Sarah more.
dreamy and all
Maybe it's
that.
because I've watched this movie and Sarah's like murdering people and shit.
And is good friends with Nikki, giving her
Or
every
Nikki's murdering people and shit, rather.
reason to want to help them out. All they have to do is use one of their wishes to break the spell, and bingo, problem solved. Later that day, Bear and Sarah take their lunch break at the music store and finally get to let loose for an hour. Bear opens up
Nikki, did you cook the cat?
his lunch Nikki prepared for him and finds two weird Polaroids. One of him from
You can't cook my cat, Nikki. You can't do that. Like, Jesus Christ, bro.
some kind of strange angle, and the other one's a selfie of them in bed with the words "not me" written on the bottom. Sarah says that it's so weird just how serious they've become. Bear confronts her with the private info Ian shared about Bear, about how Nikki comes to work sometimes and says that she thinks about him like a little brother. Sarah's pissed that Ian likes to share secrets between the friend group, but before she knows it, her father pulls her aside as another college rejection letter comes in. Her dad is giving her one more chance before she has to either move out of his house, stop applying to liberal arts colleges, start her career, being her dad about things, right? Deflated, she takes a seat and puts her head on Bear's shoulder. During their little moment, she grabs the cheesy note that Nikki put on his lunchbox, teasing him about how whack the two of them have become. Only when she flips it over, she notices something weird. On the other side, it says, "What's the verdict on Cat?" And when
It's
he
probably not very good either. Like, it's all like stretchy muscle, right? Like, I'm not trying to say I want to eat a cat or nothing. Like, I'm not trying to like really get into the theory crafting. But people have definitely eaten cat. Like, I can just look this up. It probably wouldn't be that good. It tasted slightly similar to pork with weird little transparent fish-like bone. I did not need to fucking know that.
looks down at his sandwich, that's when it hits him. This girl actually cut up pieces of his dead cat and fed it to him
You
like
can
a
show
damn
the fucking meat in the sandwich, dog.
peanut butter and jelly sandwich. With a sense of dread that only people who have accidentally eaten their pets can relate to, he chucks up Sandy in the bin.
Yeah. That's the wrong button. I just moved my fucking Stream Deck shit. Y'all be relating to this? Y'all accidentally eat your pets? Do you?
And swears that it's just an inside joke between Nikki and himself. After clocking out, Ian asks for a ride back to his crib, and he's got some more questions about what's been going on with Nikki. He says the whole thing is sus as and people are starting to wonder if Bear is doing anything shady, but he swears that their relationship is legit. If Bear can prove that there's no toxic codependency going on between them, he should be able to leave Nikki at home for the night and kick it at Ian's place for some beer pong. Bear grows less confident about how he's going to relay the news to Nikki and how she'll take him going out without her. Plus, he's still got to confront her about the whole cat thing, so he sits in the driveway for a minute practicing what he's gonna say. The One Wish Willow music faintly plays from inside his backpack, so he takes out the box and decides to ring up the customer service number, and somebody picks up. And the guy on the other line sounds weirdly chill, and he keeps replying with these simple one-word answers until Bear asks if he can cancel his wish. The guy says the only way to do that is if the person who made the wish dies, meaning Nikki's gonna be stuck like this as long as he's still alive. Bear asks him why Nikki suddenly becomes enraged and randomly spazzes out, and the guy just asks Bear if he wants to talk to Nikki to find out. On speakerphone, all he hears is the real Nikki violently screaming in the background until he finally hangs up. Alright, this scene perfectly captures an entire generation.
Yo, where's 771 at? Hold up. What area code is 771? Washington, D.C. You know what? That makes sense. I could have guessed that.
Fear of calling up strangers on the phone. You used to be able to ask random strangers if their refrigerators are running, but now if you ask questions, somebody might tell you that they've got your girlfriend's soul captive in the shadow realm. And whatever replaced her, it's most likely something demonic. But as bad as that sounds, there's still some good news, because the more we know about what we're up against, the better our chances are of finding a way to bring her back. This changes a lot about how we can approach things, because first of all, we don't have to be nice to Nikki or anything like that, since we know that it's not even the real her. But we still have to be careful to keep her physically safe, since she's gonna need her body if and when we can break the spell. It's gonna be a delicate balancing act.
I think we breaking the spell, nigga. I'm breaking something. Ain't no fucking spell, nigga.
He's steadily getting more unhinged with every minute that goes by, and it feels like any minute now
camera?
she might start getting really violent. But since we can't just roundhouse kick
Yo, did he just skip over the entire party scene right now, by the way?
the demon out of her without causing some injuries, that means that we're gonna have to plan ahead. And at this point, Bear should hit up a few stores first and arm himself with some non-lethal weapons before
Non-lethal. Got it.
he gets back home. Like he's gonna need that pepper spray, blinding her for a minute or two and giving me a chance to get away. I'm also picking up a high-powered flashlight for the same reason, since
Yeah,
shining
you
it
finna keep this shit in your inventory, nigga? Where this shit going straight up the bum hole? Like, where the fuck you finna keep this? Like, pepper spray, okay. What are you doing with that shit, bro? That's like 7 inches across. What the fuck? Like, What are you gonna do with that? Where are you gonna hold that? Just in your
Straight in
car?
her eyes could throw her
Anything but a real weapon, bro. Like,
off, and at the very least, we grabbing a straitjacket or some ratchet straps.
cause you finna get her in the straitjacket. Like, bro, I like this man a lot. No pause, by the way. But he be making some bullshit. He be doing some bullshit in his
We have to
theories.
restrain Nikki from hurting herself. All that's just to keep her safe. I mean, we still have to break this spell and bring her back to normal. And even though the guy on the phone said that it can't be done, I still have a few ideas. The first thing I'd do is go back to the shop and buy all the One Wish Willows like I mentioned before, and then I'd try having someone just wish her back to normal. But if that didn't work, then we go to the next plan, which is using a wish to change the way that wishing works. You see, guy on the phone never said you cannot change your wish, he just said that they do not. So I'd just get somebody to wish that the One Wish Willow helpline had the power to cancel people's wishes with no negative consequences as long as they asked for it. Boom! I just beat them at their own game. And then Bear could just cancel his wish, and they could all just put this crazy happening behind them. Well... So back inside, he flips on the lights, only to find Nikki looking like a disgusting mess. Looks like she's been standing in the same spot all day, but she just blames it on a stomach bug and hops straight in the shower. He tries confronting her about Sandy, but she pretty much just ignores.
How do you look sad? I can't do reaction faces. I can do like the fucking punching babies in public face though. I can't look like fucking horrified. I can't look sad. I'm not an actor. Nikki, you can't cook the cat. That's not cool.
It, hoping he'll just move on. But when he brings up going to boys' night over at Ian's, the shower instantly stops because apparently Sarah already texted her and said that they were both invited. Nikki starts flipping out again until he finally gives up and asks her to tag along. And Ian is not happy that he didn't stick to the plan. Both of them agree to just ride the night out, but Bear is really on some thin ice with his friends. So eventually everyone starts playing.
Does this movie not take place in 2025, by the way? Or like some shit like that? Why is all the tech in this fucking movie really old? Also, I want a black people count. Is this the only black guy in the movie? Like, the only black character that has any sort of prevalence. Not just random fucking black people in the background. Like, bro, he ain't even get a name, bro.
Each piece has a challenge written on the blocks in Sharpie. When one of their friends pulls switch.
Yeah, but like, what is this fucking TV though? Oh, he be playing Mario Kart in that shit. You see that? Okay, Forza.
Seats, he decides to trade places with Bear. So right away, Nikki starts getting all clingy in front of the whole squad. Somebody cracks a joke about how it seems like Nikki is under a spell, but she starts cracking up way harder than everybody else, making the whole vibe incredibly awkward. And that's when Freaky Nikki hits phase 2 immediately. It's her turn and she pulls a brick, but doesn't reveal what it says. But she does stand up and looks like she's about to read something from her notes app before anyone can clock what.
And stick the thick, veiny hand through my groin. Like, just some bullshit like that.
What's going on? She's reading some insane fetish fanfic of some absolutely messed up version of the fairy tale.
Bro, she's just like reading the plot of Coffin of Andrew and Lele, bro.
Hansel and Gretel. That seems oddly like it's supposed to be about her and Bear, and it's the creepiest thing that anyone at the party has ever heard. And when she's finally
I was gonna say something, but never mind.
done, she just sits down as if it was totally normal, and after a few seconds of awkward silence, they decide to just move on and act like nothing ever happened. Bear's turn as he pulls the piece that says, kiss the person to your left, which is not good because that means he has to kiss Sarah. Swiftly, Nikki jumps up and hits him with how your girl...
This fucking face, bro. There were like the movie was scary, but like it was good. It was an amazing movie. But at the same time, it's like this fucking shit, bro.
Friend looks at you when you eat the last slice of pizza, face ass, and then walks over to Sarah's chair, slides it back, and takes her place on Bear's left, all without saying a word. He nervously leans over and gives
Amazing actor, by the way. Absolutely amazing actor. The facial expression control is unheard of out of this woman, bro.
a kiss, which sends her on another vaguely threatening speech about how everyone else in the room will never know the beauty of true love. Right at the end of her TED Talk, the real Nikki surfaces for just a moment, screaming that this is not me, and shatters a wine bottle on the table and starts jamming the glass into her face. The spell takes over again, sending everyone at the party running for their
Is she trying to like end herself, or is she trying to like dig out the demon or whatever the fuck's inside of her? Like, I never understood this part that much.
lives, and Bear is just like, alright, I'ma head out. Alright, I've seen some couples do some embarrassing stuff at parties before, but this joint right here just went down in the Hall of Fame of crash outs. Nikki's officially gone from being a stage 5 clinger to actually violent, and if Bear lets
Bro, he didn't include the fucking. So I'm not kidding. So what? Fuck all of you. Like,
this keep going, it's
best
only
part
a
of the
matter
movie.
time before
Not true,
she
but
straight
you know.
up kills somebody. Now, there's still a chance that they can save her as long as they hurry the fuck up. Bear is
By the
still
way, surprisingly low death count in this fucking movie, bro. Like, I expected more people to die. I figured this was gonna be like a slasher film type.
only one who knows there's a magical side to all this. Even if this was just a regular mental breakdown, things have officially gotten to the point where they need professional help. He can't just pull up at the mental hospital and drop her at the door. Even adults who swear that they're fine can still be held for a while if the doctors genuinely believe they're a danger to themselves or others. Instead of him and Nikki leaving by themselves, I would take Ian, Sarah, and anyone else who wanted to come with me and then bring Nikki straight to the emergency room. And while she was there, I'd calmly explain what just happened back at the party, leaving out anything that involves the magic stuff. With Ian and the others as witnesses, they should be able to have Nikki held there for at least a little while, and even though the doctors wouldn't actually be able to solve things, that would at least give them some time to work on a plan while she's in a safe place. Back at the house, Nikki is still trying to act like everything is perfectly fine. It's pretty obvious that's not the truth. She's still acting hella clingy.
That shit healed quickly, by the way. Holy fuck. Like, damn.
Trying to follow
Fucking
him to the
Wolverine in this
restroom.
bitch.
Frustrated, he asks why she went nuts back at the party, saying how it scared all their friends. All Nikki has to say is, I know Sarah likes you. Like, that's somehow the problem here. Bear wants to know if the real Nikki actually likes him, not just this weird version of herself that's been around these last few weeks. She just hits him with this big demonic smile and goes, not to worry, I'm your freaky Nikki, which is obviously something the real her would never say. They keep arguing back and forth, and Bear brings up the idea of spending just one night apart, causing her to start sobbing and promising that she can be normal. The more she tries to fix it, the worse it gets, until even Bear has to admit that her feelings for him were never real. And just as he's finally realizing this, she looks him dead in the eyes and goes, I love you in every reality. It seems so genuine, he folds and says, I love you too, still wanting all this to be true. But that's
Under absolutely no pressure, by the way.
when Nikki jumps up and walks backwards towards the kitchen like somebody just hit the rewind button. Then she hits him with a little pump fake before just standing there watching from the shadows. Terrified, the dude
Whoa. Scared you, didn't I? You fucking pussy.
nervously says that he's gonna go spend the night at Ian's. She just replies, okay, in this monotone voice, and when he calls her back, she starts going off on another long, vaguely threatening speech that
Hit my mic.
kinda makes it seem like she wouldn't be alive when he gets home. So, in the end, Bear decides that he better stay. Sometime later, he's lying there awake when he gets a text from Sarah. She's got some urgent
Stay!
to meet up at the park, but when he asks her to just text it, she threatens to just show up at his house instead. So, after making sure that Nikki is out cold, he carefully moves her arm and gets out of bed. Just then, he hears Nikki's voice behind him. When he turns around, she's still fast asleep. That's when he realizes it's the real Nikki
Bear, kill me. Like, bro.
calling to him from the other side. She starts asking him to kill her before she wakes up. Hurt, he asks why she'd rather die than be with him, only for her to reply,
Yo, this was like, bro, this nigga Bear in this fucking scene went from like bad to fucking evil, bro. Bitch said kill me, and the first thing he's like, why don't you want to be with me? What's so bad about being with me? Clearly this. Like, bro, fuck off.
Why that it's never been the real her. Bear decides now is his only chance to get away and walks down to the neighborhood park. Alright, now that's just messed up. By now, Bear should be feeling like a total shithead for what he did, but honestly, it's a good thing he didn't listen to the voices in his head, because we really don't even know if that's really Nikki or just the demon trying to mess with him. But with that being said, going to meet with Sarah would be the biggest mistake that he could possibly make here. First of all, he doesn't know if demonic Nikki is really asleep or just pretending to be. And after what happened at the party, if she catches Bear with Sarah alone in a parking lot at night...
Whenever I see blood in movies, there's always like a fucking 50-50 chance that it's the wrong fucking color. Because I'm colorblind. Like, I don't see red correctly. A lot of, bro, the first thing that comes to mind, the blood in Django Unchained is green to me. It's literally like fucking bright green.
Yeah, she's gonna catch a body. So the smarter thing to do would be to
Shit look
just
like
tell
plum
Sarah
juice, bro.
he can't meet because it's dangerous. And then find a more natural time to hear what she has to say, like in the morning when they're both at work. I would say for things being as tense as they are, now wouldn't really be the time to sneak out of the crib. But maybe he's hoping that there's something Sarah has for him that could help this situation. And I've got one last idea that's so crazy it just might work. Remember, the One Wish Willow customer service representative on the phone said that if Bear dies, it'll break the spell. So for this plan, he's gonna need 2 people he trusts with his life. But since he doesn't have any of those, Ian and Sarah are probably gonna be the ones that have to help him out. First, he needs to go back to the store and get 2 more One Wish Willows. And then one of them's gonna have to wish Bear was dead, and once he dies, the spell should be broken, and then as soon as Nikki's back to normal, the second person can wish Bear back to life. It's definitely...
Okay, I don't think this would work. Mainly because it's not like a monkey's paw thing where it's like a be careful what you wish for. Because if it was that case, if that was the case, fucking I wish for $1 billion, crushed immediately by like $1 billion worth of pennies or some shit. No, he just got $1 billion. I'm assuming it's like the fucking Aladdin rules, where it's like you can't wish anybody to die or come back to life or love you. So, and since he wished for Nikki to love him, it didn't fucking work. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. I don't think that would work.
risky, but unless he
I
can
don't
think
think so. By that means, neither of the wishes would work.
of another plan, this might be the only way. Garsh, Scoob. He finds Sarah sitting in her car.
Medically, be put like you get medical. You're fuck. You're like medically dead for like a minute or something, and then they bring you back, and then like
at the
Nikki's
park.
fine.
When she asks what's going on with Nikki, he just lies and blames it all on her sick dad. Confused, she says that she thought Nikki hated the guy, but he keeps insisting that it's the truth, so changing the subject, she pulls out the last letter from her dream school saying that she's waited until now to open it. They start goofing around and cracking jokes in a way that honestly seems more natural than Bear and Nikki ever did, but before she opens the letter, there's something she has to tell him first. It turns out that Nikki and Ian have been casually hooking up for the last 2 years. So now Ian thinks that Nikki is using Bear as a way to get back at Ian. And even if that's not true, she thinks it sucks that he's with somebody who's not really the best fit for him, strongly hinting that she's talking about herself. And even after everything that's happened, this dude actually starts thinking that she might be the one after all. But Nikki's not about to let that slide, and just as Sarah starts to hint that they should kiss for real, Nikki comes sprinting over, smashes
Ooh.
straight through the window, and starts slamming
Okay, he's
Sarah's
not gonna
head
show
against a brick over and over until her face is completely crushed, making 2 down with 2 more.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just not gonna say anything.
To go. Nikki stops and runs straight to Bear's door, acting like a worried mom, while also blaming him for the whole thing. She keeps reminding him that he wished for this while he just sits there in total shock. But they have to do something with the body, and too scared to think straight, he helps Nikki take her back to the music store and stuffs her in a big tuba case. Like, damn, son. After that, Nikki tells him to head back to the crib, but instead, he goes straight to the gift shop looking for another One-Wish Willow. Fed up, he asks how they can still sell these things to innocent people, but the guy points out that they're covered in warnings on the box, so buyer beware type shit. And when he finds out Bear's wish was for his dream girl to fall in love with him, he just acts surprised and says that it can't be all that bad. The employee says it's impossible to reverse a wish once you've made it, and since everyone only gets one, Bear can't use it to make another one, but there is one thing he could try, getting someone else to use their wish to cancel his out. Either that or one of them has to die, so he grabs the last 3 off the shelf and runs back to his car. Well, Bear, I guess this is why they always say be careful what you wish for. And poor Sarah, I mean, let's be real, she was just trying to figure out why that was driving her friend insane. And now that your demonic girlfriend just put her on a t-shirt, there's really only one thing left to say. Come on, everybody, say it with me. Bear, you have officially up. This might be one of the craziest things that we've ever seen here on the channel. Before Bear even made the wish, it was obvious Sarah had a thing for him, so if he wasn't so obsessed with Nikki, he could have had a normal, healthy relationship with a girl who actually liked him. But this dude genuinely put his crush under magic mind control, then wants to turn around and cheat on her after she's been possessed by a demon. Brother, that is wrong on so many levels. I don't even know where to start. At this point, I can't
Also, this nigga didn't even try to help Sarah as she was getting her face bashed in. Like, you're a whole ass dude, bro. You ain't gonna like try to grab her out or something? No, you're just gonna let it happen?
feel bad for him since
I guess
this
so,
entire
bro.
disaster was 1,000% his fault. So congratulations, Bear, because you have f***ed up, and I honestly cannot wait to see how you land the plane here. Let's pull up a chair and find out. Smash cut to Bear in the whip. He breaks out one of the new sticks, trying to wish that Nikki only liked him as a friend, but no matter how hard he tries, the damn thing won't snap in half. Needing another solution, he decides to try getting Ian's help instead. So he admits that the whole thing about making a wish actually came true. Obviously, it all sounds so crazy that Ian is just about to swing on him.
I wish for $1 billion. Most valid play in the entire movie, by the way.
Ian opens the package, and Bear starts telling him how to word his wish so that it cancels the whole thing out. But out of nowhere, Ian just goes, "I wish for $1 billion," and breaks the stick. And boy, is he surprised when $1 billion cash starts literally falling from the sky. With no time left, Bear drops to his knees and just stares at him, completely out of ideas.
I wish for $1 billion.
He rushes down the street back to his house, and Nikki comes walking out of the shadows, wearing Sarah's clothes and badly drawn her tattoos and Sharpie all over herself, and starts absolutely freaking out worse than anything
Actually,
else.
never noticed that. Holy shit.
So far, Bear has unexpectedly walked into the final boss room, slowly backing down on the couch as Nikki pulls out a revolver just as Ian starts banging on his front door. She just turns around.
This
and
revolver was mentioned earlier in the movie, by the way, where they were talking about, like, and blah, blah, blah keeps a gun in the safe. I'm assuming that's the gun.
blasts him straight in the head, making 3 down with 1 more to go. And with no other way to calm things down, Bear decides to just play along,
Okay,
and that's when he
say it.
finally realizes what he's got to do. He lies and tells Nikki that they should go freshen up, but the minute they get to the restroom, he slams the door and locks himself inside. But as long as he's alive, Nikki's never going to be the same, so he takes out the blammer and starts thinking about uninstalling his OS. But in the end, he just can't make himself do it. Instead, he reaches into the cabinet and downs a bottle of meds, only to chicken out at the last second and start trying to make himself puke him up. And without warning, he hears the One-Wish Willow jingle coming from a freshly opened box in the living room, and suddenly he gets up
Where
and
did she
walks
get that shit?
outside. Turns out Nikki used the last wish to make Bear fall in love with her. So now they both finally got what they wanted in an absolute twisted way. But as he leans in for a kiss, he suddenly falls over from all the oxy in his system, and there's nothing Nikki can do as he dies in her arms, making 4 down.
You had to fucking cat. You had to blur out like the foaming and shit.
With no more to go. Completely heartbroken, Nikki starts breaking down in tears, but all of a sudden the spell snaps off. And as she
Also love
wakes up
how he just like suddenly stopped censoring the
Breaking
big ass
down in
wound on her forehead.
tears, but all of a sudden the spell snaps off. And as she wakes up surrounded by her friends'
the-
bodies, having absolutely no idea idea what even happened. So in the end, that makes 4 victims down, with Nikki as the only survivor, and it looks like she's about to have the worst hangover of her life. But as for the rest of us, there's definitely a lesson to be learned here. If you ever need magical Riz to get
Worst trivia night ever.
out of the friend zone, you better be careful what you wish for.
Unironically though, this was one of the best movies I've seen in a fucking while. Like, there's so much bullshit coming out that you're right. He's right. It is an amazing movie. So he spoiled it in this video for whatever reason, but still a fucking great ass movie. Either way, I'm a. That's that's about it. See ya. That's about it. See ya.